people making Monaco take the mic. I'm Nancy Heslin, and welcome to Monaco Info, the podcast. Our guest today is a University of Monaco alumna who started off her career as a TV presenter for Monte-Carlo SAT and reported for Eurosport. Born in Strasbourg to a French mother and German father, the Monaco entrepreneur founded five-star events and created the Bal de Noël in support of the Princess Grace Hospital's maternity services, building it into a 20-year fixture on the country's philanthropic calendar. And the socialite launched the Women of Monaco Club, lunch and awards with an international action committee that stretches far beyond the shores of the Principality. Meet Monaco resident Sandrine Knoell. Is that right, Knoell?
Yes, that's correct.
I thought actually it might be French like Noël, but this is the hardest part of an interview for me is to get somebody's name right. But you, as I understand, are a journalist. Did you ever have that problem?
Yes, especially when I was working for Eurosport on the super racing weekends. During that race, you have many drivers with so many different nationalities. And I was actually speaking French, English, Italian all the time during the interviews. So sometimes, of course, with so many different nationalities, it's difficult to pronounce the right way.
Well, we're so happy to have you on Monaco Info, the podcast, Sandrine. Thank you very much for coming on. Tell me something about this. Would you prefer that we were switching seats? I mean, you're the professional interviewer. Do you feel more at ease asking the questions or answering the questions?
No, I like to answer the question.
You're comfortable now in this role?
No, I'm very comfortable.
What attracted you into journalism in the first place?
Actually, I didn't study journalism because I studied business management, business administration. But since I was like a teenager, I always wanted to be like a journalist or a TV presenter. And I remember I had the TV in my room, my bedroom, and every time I had bad grades or I did something bad, my mom, it was a small TV. The worst thing you can do to me is to take that TV away from me, you know. I don't know. I think when you really want to do something, it's something you have in your DNA.
But did you get nervous? Do you remember like the first time you did an interview or someone you really admired and it just didn't go the way you wanted?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, you know, because when I started, I actually went straight on the field and interviewed like sportsmen in Monaco or some stars. I remember I interviewed Kevin Costner during the golf tournament.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
That was years ago, the golf tournament. And sometimes, you know, I was just paralyzed and I getting all red.
Yeah.
When you are not so confident of yourself.
But are you a perfectionist? Like I find when I do interviews, I can be really hard on myself and think, oh, you know, I should have asked this or I could have done better. And it takes me a while to forgive myself for not doing it perfectly. Are you a perfectionist?
I'm a perfectionist now with my events. Yes, I'm like this. But before, when I was working with television, I was quite young. So I think I was not to that point yet. Okay. You know.
But your real dream, you told me, was to be a dancer when you were really young. You wanted to be a dancer.
I was really like a child. I was watching all those in Strasbourg at the opera, the ballet with the main dancer, you know, Danseuse Étoile. It was really my dream. So actually, I was maybe 6 or 7. 6, actually, yes. I entered the School of the Opera in Strasbourg. So I had normal class in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then in the afternoon, I had dance, you know, many hours of dance. We had music. And then we had twice a week singing.
Oh, wow. So
actually, it was a very good school because I learned the discipline and you learn to push yourself because I was doing like 3 hours of dance every day. And then at what point we were doing the pointe, you know, and then your feet are bleeding and everything. And they were quite strict because the teacher had a stick, you know, and he was always doing this.
Tapping you on the hand.
Yeah, here. And
now, when you say
you're eating too much.
No,
you know?
Okay, well, there's a whole bunch of questions here. So the teacher, while you're dancing, taps you. And does that hurt? Or is it a friendly little like tap, tap?
It was friendly. It was not, no. It was friendly. But at that time, it was like this. He had these sticks and it was like this, you know.
And they would comment on your weight at a young age?
Yeah. Comment on the weight, on how you have to stand. And then you have to smile on top, you know. And then I remember I did it for many years. And I was dancing in the show behind Les Petits Rats de l'Opéra, you know, when they were kids, like children. And I think from there, I pick up the thing of the stage, to love the stage, to love to be in front. I think that's from there. And then I think at one point, because every year we had exams, to pass in the next class, like dancing exams. And
that would be stressful.
Very stressful. And I remember that I grew up with my mom, but I remember it was the last year before we moved to the south of France. My dad came to see because the parents could come and see the exam. So he came to see the exam, and I wanted to impress him so much that I fell.
Oh.
When you want to
fell
do
right
really,
on your face, yep.
And then I had to retake the exam. I didn't get a good grade. And actually, for me, that was the end. Because I told my mom, we're moving to the south of France. For me, it's finished.
And what did your father say when he came to see you? Did he react?
No. He arrived with a big bouquet of red roses. And no, he didn't say anything. He said it was fantastic. They don't understand anything. And it's too hard for the kids.
We love our dads.
Yeah. And
so what made them move from Strasbourg to the south of France? Because you ended up in Valbonne, if I understand correctly.
Yeah. So actually, my parents were divorced, and my dad stayed in Strasbourg, and he's still there. Didn't move. So I moved with my mom and my two brothers. We first moved to Aise, and my mother, she got her house in Aise, but she had to do works and everything, and she was moving between Strasbourg and Aise. So actually, the first year we went to the CIV in Valbonne. So we were like interns with my brothers. And I went because my English was quite good, because I was taking some extra class in Strasbourg. And so I went to the international section, and my brother went to the French one. And I remember I was kind of lost because in the international section, you have half in French, half in English. So I'm very bad in math, and I had math in English. So I was really...
But was it different culture or different mindset coming to Valbonne from Strasbourg? Because I've only ever lived in this part of the world, and people tell me that when you live in a different part of France, especially like the north, people are just so different.
Yeah, it's just...
So you were 14 years old.
Yeah.
Were you like, who are these people?
Yeah. It's like you think you're not in another country, actually, because it's so different. And Strasbourg is very German, and the weather is not nice, and people are very like this. They open up when they know you, but when they don't know you, they are very close people.
And you thought people here were closed or open?
Actually, the first year in Valbonne, there were so many people because we were interns.
So when you say intern, do you mean like you're living at the school? You're in a boarding?
Yeah,
wow,
boarding school.
Okay.
Yeah, boarding school. And actually, the first month was very difficult because I never boarded in the school. I went on holidays, like with camps and everything, but never.
That would be tough at 14.
The first month, I was crying all the time. And then after 1 month, fantastic. I got my friends. I created my routines. And then it was really nice. And after a few months, I also loved the international section because we had all these different people, different nationalities, and I really loved it. I think it opens your mind, and I think it's very good to be with different nationalities. So it was a big change from Strasbourg.
But then you ended up coming to Monaco for university.
Yeah, so finally, at the end of the year, my mom, she announced us that the house is ready in Aise, we can move to the house, and then we start crying because we wanted to stay in Valbonne. And so we moved in the house in Aise, and then I went to your high school in Nice.
But I want to say something, that the distance between Aise and Valbonne actually isn't that far, but you might as well live in different countries, right? You don't just zoom back and forth between Valbonne and Aise when you have your friends like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not far, but it's not close either, So I went to Nice, and I really liked to be in Nice. At that time, it was really nice. It was not all the problems that you can have now. I was walking in the street, even in the evening.
Safety issues, yeah.
It was very, very safe. And then I had my Vespa. I was very independent. I was taking my Vespa to go to school.
But you must have loved the weather compared to Strasbourg,
yes,
right?
Fantastic. No, it was... Actually, since I moved to south of France, I think I never missed Strasbourg. Never.
Really?
Never. No.
You don't go back and see your dad, or?
Yeah, sometimes. But to be honest, I go like maybe every 3 years, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm still in contact with my family because my aunt is there and I have some cousins. And of course, it's my childhood, And we were living in a hotel there because my parents had a hotel. So I went back 2 years ago and I went to see the hotel,
Do they still own the hotel?
No.
Did you ever work at the hotel?
When I was small, I never worked, but when I was small, I was helping the cook in the kitchen. Then I was helping at the bar, and was doing the ice cream and eating a lot of ice cream also.
But this must have given you an idea of service and luxury, I'm presuming, from a
Yes.
young age.
Yeah. I think when I look back now, it gives me, yes, like service and an entrepreneur also, because when you own an hotel, you have to manage it. You have to have an entrepreneur mindset. And my parents were both running the hotel. And yes, I think it gives you this mindset, to see that your parents, they are entrepreneur. Especially because my dad, before, he owns a construction company. He was building apartments and houses. Then I don't know for what reason he built the hotel, and then they start living in the hotel. And then it's very complicated because when you live in the hotel, you have your family in the hotel. It's your work. You become like a slave of your hotel. And then you have no more private life. And then it's one of the reasons why after that they split up.
But is this when you were born? Were you living there?
Yes. Yeah. I
What's
was
that
born
like
there.
to live in a hotel?
It was fantastic because it's like owning a huge house. We had the pool, we had the garden, we had animals, we had even ponies, in the garden. There was a lot of people working in the hotel. So honestly, it was fantastic. To grow up in a hotel is amazing.
And is this where you sort of got your sense for entrepreneurship and business, and that's why you studied that at the International University of Monaco?
I think everything after you have your own personality, but I think, for example, we can be from the same family because I have two brothers. They're completely different. And
How so? Tell us.
How different they are?
Yeah. How different are you as siblings?
So one is a year older than me and he's fonctionnaire in France. He's
Goes to his office, does his job.
Yeah, he's school director of a school. And he has he really has employee mindset. He wants to have security, and he's living in the apartment of the school and everything. He's happy like this
it's
because
his life,
it gives him a security and everything. But now he's 54, turning 55. And sometimes he's telling me, oh, maybe I should change job. I said, no, you're not going to change job. I'm 55, And the other one is doing some things with animals and everything. So he's very into a different world, complete nature and everything. So that's why it depends on your personality, because you can grow up the same way and you will be completely different. And I see this also with my children. They are completely different. And but of course, I picked these things to see my mom running everything, and then also my dad. And after when they split, my mom, she opened a real estate company, and she did very well because we really grew up with her, and she took care of us for everything, like school and everything.
As a young person growing up, were you aware that she had a lot of responsibility, being sort of a single mom or a divorced mom and taking care of you?
To be honest, I realized it afterwards, once I had kids, because she was such a strong and loving mom that she never showed us anything. I'm not like that because I show my emotions. I show when I have enough and, when it's too much. Okay, this is my personality. But she nearly never showed anything. And also my older brother had some quite important health problems. No, she was really, I didn't realize at that time, really. And she did a very good job, I think, because it's not easy to be alone and to work and to be the chief of the family.
Right.
Actually, yeah.
So what happened for you when you were in Monaco and you're at university? Did you see opportunities here that you hadn't seen maybe in Strasbourg or maybe up in the Valbonne? Was there something about Monaco that just really appealed to you that you thought, I see a future here, I can build something for myself here?
So there's many different things. When I was younger, I remember I used to watch on TV the Princely family, And I was a fan of Princess Grace, Prince Rainier, Princess Caroline, and Princess Stephanie, and Prince Albert. I don't know why, I was really a fan. I love this family. For me,
from a young age?
Yes. For me, they represented the glamour, the beauty, the grace, everything, It's like a little bit like the Americans, they watch the Kennedys.
Yeah.
For me, it was a kind of family like this. And I was really looking up to them. And we moved in south of France. We went many times to Monaco. We even rent an apartment which was on the port in the summer. And I really loved it. Then later on, I remember Princess Stephanie, she did a swimsuit collection. And she had the shop was somewhere on the port or Rue Grimaldi. I remember I went crazy with my mom. She bought me so many swimsuits, you know. And I went so crazy with this swimsuit. And then she did the song Ouragan. I remember I was singing the song Ouragan
That's right.
all the time. And then I was following everything when Princess Caroline at a young age got married with Philippe Junot. I followed everything, even
That's incredible because not a lot of people are that dedicated to their history or know them that way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
know. For no reason.
For no reason, you know. And I remember when Grace Kelly died, I cried like crazy. I said, it's not possible. And I remember I followed on TV the funeral and I could see Prince Rainier and the kids that were really suffering. And I don't know why. It's a family that I think everybody can feel close. That's my feeling, because they had like a lot of dramas. But I think they were always they always had they played their role and everything.
So coming here, did you feel like, okay, well, your family rented an apartment here and you're like, I just love this, and you could see yourself living here? Like, was the connection that you felt to that family part of it? Not connection personally, but just the interest in the family. Like here, you can look up and you go, oh, they live up there, and I can't believe that I'm now living here.
Yes, actually, later on we used to, because that's from a young age. We rented also like a place in Cannes. I remember in the Montfleury and also in Grimaud. And I remember because my parents had their boat license, they rented a small boat, and we were going with the small boat and everything. But my heart was also always Monaco. You know, when we were saying, okay, we rent a place in Monaco, we're gonna go from Monaco for the day, I really loved it.
I saw a photo of you at your graduation, and I think you're shaking Prince Albert's hand at the time.
Yeah, I was very lucky at that time, because now there's like 1,400, 500 students. So it's different. Of course, they cannot shake hands with everybody. But at my time, we were in the stadium. So I did the university. I graduated in 95. And we were like 280 students. I was really...
Total,
including the masters.
Wow.
So, and I think I was the second or third graduation, second or third of the university. Maybe third one, I think. And we had the graduation in Hôtel de Paris.
Oh, wow.
And the prince gave the diploma to each student. So that's why I have the photo with the prince.
And what you have to remember that moment?
Of course, I remember. I was so impressed, because that's what I saw on TV, you know, when I was smaller. And I was really impressed. And actually, from the day my mom, because when I got my baccalaureate, I studied law in Nice for 1 year. I loved the subject, but I didn't love the university. You know, it was very mixed, and I really didn't like it. It was a lot of freedom, you know. Nobody was controlling if you were coming to the lectures and everything. So the following year, my mom, she told me, are you going to start in September in Monaco? And I was like, wow.
Okay.
Yes. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was actually the best part of my life, of my young adult life, let's say.
It was international at that time.
Very international. And for me, it was perfect, because I love to speak English. Then I learned Italian, because I was speaking a little bit of Spanish. But then I learned Italian, because at that time, there was a lot of Italian at the university. Now it has changed. But at that time, we had a lot of Italian, some Arabic, and quite a lot of Swedish, because at that time, the government were giving loans to Swedish to come to study in Monaco. I don't know. They had an agreement. So we had a lot of Swedish. And actually, it was fantastic, because to have fun, I was with the Italian group. Italian or Arabic group, and to study, to do like terms paper or group paper, I was with the Swedish, because they were studying like crazy.
But did going to the university, did that open doors for you in Monaco, do you think? Or is it your personality and your perseverance that was able to open those doors?
I think it's a mix of both, you know, because of course, when they see on a CV that you are from Monaco and not from Nice or whatever, I think they will take the student from Monaco. So I think that helps. Then after, I remember I went to the Jeune Chambre Économique, you know. I think that helps. At that time, it helps, yeah, I must say. And then the thing is, Monaco is very small, you know, so you get to know everybody, and then it's of course it's your job to find your way.
And what was your way?
I remember when I graduated, I absolutely wanted to work in television. I didn't know how it could happen. And my friends, they organized like a surprise dinner after the graduation, and they did a cake with a TV on the cake.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I said, very nice. There's the TV, but how am I going to do that, you know? Actually, I was working with a magazine. I was freelance, you know, I was doing some articles about some events in Monaco. And then I met some people working for CNN, you know. And I used to organize some stuff for them, you know, in Monaco, like interviews for some people and everything. Then I forget to say something. When I graduated, first I worked for 6 months in a bank. It was the HSBC, where there was the Safra, how do you say, tragedy, you know, where it burned and everything. So I worked there for 6 months.
I cannot see you in a bank.
No, I was paid and everything. They even offered me a very good job because they saw that I knew all the parents who had bank account there, you know, because most of the kids were with me at university, you know, and I was very at my ease and everything. So they proposed me after the 6 months internship, they proposed me a very good job. And I refused it because I don't see myself in the bank. I say I'd rather die than working in a bank. I could not stay close in a closed area, you know, from 9 to 6, 9 to 5:30. For me, it was...
But how did you start up your own production company first? Was that right, to be in television?
Yeah, exactly. So it was the bank. Then I said no. I remember with my mom, we had a big argument for a long time. We didn't speak to each other.
Over your future?
Yeah, because she wanted me to take the job in the bank. She told me I invested in you, I invested in your future. Now you should take that job, you know.
But looking back with your bit of wisdom that you have now, would you say that she wanted financial security for you because she had to work so hard to provide it, and she knew that it's difficult?
Yeah. No, I totally understand. And when I look back now, because I really love what I do and I'm successful in what I do, when I look now, I say I made the right choice. But I can only say this like not for a few years. Before, you know, I say, oh, maybe I should have taken that job because you have security, and then you can go, you know, up and up, because I have friends, they choose that path and they are very successful in their work. But the thing, they loved, you know, to work in the bank or to work in finance. So actually, I don't regret. No, I made the right decision, but I understand my mom. She wanted me to have like a security and salary and position and everything. And it was there because I got it really right out of university, you know.
But you plugged on and you started your own company.
Yeah, so first I started to doing as a freelance some article for a magazine owned by Amadeo Turello. I don't even remember the name of the magazine. And so I did this. Then I met these people from CNN. By doing these articles, they offered me to do this. And then I don't know how I met the people from Monte-Carlo SAT. And they told me, if you want to you can do some few things for us, but if you want to have your TV show, you have to find the advertiser. So,
Fair enough, yep.
So I spoke with my mom, and she said, okay, open your company. And at that time, it was like, still now, it was on nom propre, you know, on personal name. And I needed to have an office in Monaco or like a small apartment, like a studio where you put your company. So that's what we did. My mom, she helped me to take that small apartment. We opened this activité en nom propre, which was called 5-Star Prod. And we did everything very quickly, like 2 months. And I had already...
What?
Yeah.
That's impossible. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
At that time, it was very quick in Monaco.
Okay.
Everything was so quick, like the residency card, like...
2 months.
In Direction Économique to have the authorization, it was very, very easy because there was less people, less demand, and it was really easy. And so I did this. And when I was doing all this, I was writing my project for this TV show. It was called Jet and Set.
Jet and Set.
Yeah. And it was actually, my goal was to go to all the events in Monaco and to interview the stars. I was like a bit naive, you know, but it's nice to be naive.
Yeah, it's very nice to be naive.
Because you believe in your things, you have no barriers, and you just go.
You can do it.
You can do it. That's fantastic. So with this project, I remember I went to see Zepter International, because at that time they were the biggest advertiser on the Formula One. So I say, if I want to find an advertiser for my TV show, I need to go where there is the money. So I remember I contact them, and then I had a friend who told me I know somebody there who's working there. So we made that appointment, and that friend was a friend from university.
Wow.
And we are still friends now because he still lives in Monaco, and he has some business here. And so he made, actually, I didn't remember that, but he made that appointment. And I presented the project, and they said yes. Yes.
What?
Yeah.
That simply?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Are you good at asking people for money? Because I think that it's a very difficult confidence to have.
No, I'm good because when I really want something, you have no other choice. So I say, okay, I opened my company. My mom, she believed in me. Now I have to go because I cannot fail, you know? And then, because when I was younger, I was really shy. But when I had to go for something, I said, this is my life. I need to make that decision, you know. I need to go for that because it's life-changing, you know. And then I really go. When it's life-changing, I go. Still now, sometimes I don't want to take a decision. And my daughter, she knows exactly because she knows me very well. I can wait 1 year, 2 years to take like a big decision. But once I take the decision, because it's a life-changing decision, then I just go for it.
So in this case, it worked out very well for you.
It worked out very well, but it was quite a miracle, I must say. Honestly, when I look back, it was quite a miracle. And that's it. So I went back to Monte-Carlo SAT. I say, I have my TV show, my project. I have the advertiser. This is the budget. This is this. And they could not believe because I think I was the only one to come with the...
Oh, I'm sure.
I was the only one. And it was quite a big budget. And then we organized very quickly. I had my team. I had the cameraman, the one for the sound, and then the editing. We were like a really nice team. Then I organized in Monaco with hairdresser salon, and they did my hair and my makeup. I found a shop who lended me the clothes.
Wow.
Yes.
You really had all the boxes ticked.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I started the show. We did the show for like...
What was the show?
So Jet and Sets.
You really did? It was called Jet and
yeah.
Set? And what was it?
And we were going on like all the events in Monaco, whatever, sports, Bal de Rose.
You really did it?
Yeah, I did it. The golf, the tennis, Hercules. We went to the rallies, Formula One.
How long did the show run for?
2 years.
Wow. That
2
must
years.
have really built up your reputation here as a serious person.
Yeah. And I remember I interviewed Prince Rainier for the circus because we covered the circus. So I interview many stars, many Formula One drivers. I interview Princess Stephanie also, Prince Albert, for different sports events. And I start to know some people, everywhere, slowly. Mm-hmm. So yes, I think from there, it gives me really like confidence.
Mm-hmm. Because it's not easy. If you're not from Monaco, or if you didn't really grow up in Monaco, it's not easy to accomplish what you have.
I think it's both ways. When you arrive in Monaco, and you didn't grow up in Monaco, and you really see how Monaco is fantastic, and you have this opportunity and that opportunities, then you really go. You really go.
Mm-hmm.
You say, that's the life I want. I want to live here. I want to work here. And then you really go for it. When you were born here, I think you take it more or less for granted. It's not to take it from granted. It's for you, this is your normality,
Yeah, you don't have the context of realizing what it's like outside of here to grow up. Yeah. So how did you end up starting 5-star events and creating the Bal de Noël? Because that's a huge event on Monaco's calendar. And if a young person was like, I'm going to start interviewing celebrities at all Monaco's events, that would be one of the big events that people want to interview people at.
Yes. So after Monte-Carlo SAT, I had an opportunity through a production company in Monaco. It was called Samipa. And they were doing all the rights for Monaco for the rally and everything. And I met them when I was doing my TV show, and they told me, let's keep in contact because sometimes we can need a journalist presenter for like the motorsports TV show and interviews. And then they contact me and they asked me, are you interested to be a TV journalist for the Super Racing Weekend? You have to go on all the tracks in Europe and then some tracks also in the States like Daytona. And I did also 24 Hours of Le Mans. And I said, yeah, of course. I went to Paris. I did the casting. Did the interview with Eurosport. And they say, okay, we take you. I mean, the salary was not amazing, but it was good. I said, I'm going to see all these tracks, you know. Of course, hotels, flight
And
tickets.
also for a woman at
Yeah.
that time to be doing that,
Yes.
that was a big deal.
Yeah, that was a big deal. But actually, I didn't realize it. I realize it now. Because at that time, there was like really no women in the industry. And so I did this like for 1 year, 1 season. And in between, I met my, at the time, the father of my kids. And I wanted to have children, wanted to get married and everything. So I decided after to stop, you know. I did 1 season and it was very nice. So many tracks, learned a lot. And after that, I stopped. And when I stopped, I said, okay, if I'm not going to do TV, because at that time, I think Monte-Carlo SAT was going really down. They didn't have any more budgets, nothing. And I didn't want to go again, find advertiser. I mean, I was in another field. And when I had my TV show, I went to Bal de la Rose. I went to all the galas because I was invited. And I think from that moment, maybe if I didn't know yet, it clicked something in my mind. It clicked something. Okay, there is a lot of events. I love that. It's also, you are creative. You work with people. You know, it was exactly what I really liked. And so I told myself, okay, I'm just going to move the objet social of my activity. And that's what I did. I went to the direction économique, filled all the papers. And then I changed to PR events, organization of events. As simply as that.
Wow. And you had work right away. You started working, or you had a family?
I had a family, but I mean, I was married and I was living with my husband at the time. And I started to do like some, I organized one wedding, and then I organized a shop opening, and I organized something with the Automobile Club also. And then there's a lady, she asked me to work with her. She had a ball in Paris called the Bal des Étoiles. In Monaco, she had a ball called Bal de l'Été. And it doesn't exist anymore. She did it a few years and then she stopped. And she asked me to work with her on that edition of the Bal de l'Été. So I started to work with her, I think, May. The event was in June, 12th of June or something like this. So I started to work with her.
What year would this be?
In the year 2003.
Okay.
You know, I think. And then I followed this lady. She was staying in the Fairmont Hotel because she was living in Paris. She was organizing that big ball because she had like 800 people coming from everywhere, you know. But she was quite famous for a ball in Paris, and she was doing this in the summer. And I saw her. I learned in a month and a half how to organize a ball. But just...
It can't be that simple.
You know, I learned that you need to have sponsors because she was telling me you need to start your event with sponsor because like this you don't lose money if people are not coming,
right.
You know. And I see how she organized tables, how she put things together, how she look at the flowers, choose the menu, print things, how she was stressed. And I always remember. And because I followed nonstop for a month and a half until the event, you know.
But what are some of the details, Sandrine? When you say that about she knew about the tables, like what is it about the tables organizing tables?
Yeah. That you have to print the menu, put the menu. You need to do the decoration, like around the towel. Then you need to have the flowers.
So it's the detail.
The details, yeah. And she was telling me every year she changed the color of the napkins, she ran this, the chairs, the flowers, you know. And she really, when it's like I did courses like accelerated, you know, in a month and a half. Because she was explaining things at the same time, you know, and also table placement. She was telling me, and this is true, table placement is the most difficult thing to do, because when people buy table, it's easy. They buy the table, they put their guest, and that's it. But when you have to put people together who buy tickets, this is very hard. You know,
I can imagine
who sits next to who. You know, the language, the age, everything. You know. So, So
you did the one ball with her?
I did one ball with her. Then what happened? Then I got pregnant with my son. And then when I was pregnant, I was followed by a professor in the Hospital Princess Grace, which is Dr. Tresser. He came to the 20th anniversary last year.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was from Strasbourg also. And he looked at me, and in my file, he saw that I had a company to organize events. And then he told me, you know what? we need like a fundraising for the maternity service because, of course, we have a lot of things that is paid, but some things like doing some paintings on the wall, we want to buy like lights, like red lights, blue lights, whatever. You can change this whole thing in the labor room. These things, they didn't give them the budget for.
Specifically for maternity service?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I told him, okay, give me
I'm having a baby.
some time. I'm having a baby. I'll come up with an idea. So not long after, I came back to him with this idea. I said, you know what? I'm from Strasbourg. You are from Strasbourg. Christmas for me is the most important time of the year. I love it. For me, it was more important than New Year's. Because of course, in Strasbourg, you have the Christmas market and you have the blue wine, the hot wine and all these things. You do the cakes, the chocolate thing. I mean, it's really, and the turkey and this, it's really a big thing. And I told him I'm going to do an event around the Christmas time in December, because also it has a religious symbol. For me, it was perfect. And also, I was telling him in Monaco, there's nothing for Christmas. Place de Casino, there was few decorations, there was nothing. It's not like nowadays. It was really very poor for Christmas actually. And then I remember a friend told me, Sandrine, when you have an idea, a name, something, go straight away to the propriété intellectuelle in Fontvieille and you protect the name. So I went there, I remember, and I protected the name, Bal de Noël, And then once your name is protected, it's for 10 years.
That's interesting, because when I first saw Bal de Noël, I kept thinking, how did she even get that name? It's like the most basic name. How did no one else take this name in all these years? That's why.
Very easy. There is Bal de la Rose, Bal de la Croix-Rouge, and there was nothing in Christmas. So you just put Christmas and Bal together, it's Bal de Noël. So I protected for Monaco, the name, and I protected for the States, it was already protected. I protected for 2 or 3 other countries because you have to go by countries, and the more countries you cover, the more you pay, So I didn't do a worldwide pattern. And then Sierra, I started the first event. Alan was born in April. I did the ball in December.
So let's talk about that first ball. How many people did you have?
150.
Wow.
Which was good.
You sold all those tickets?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the theme?
Bal de Noël, Monte-Carlo.
Okay.
That was the first. We did in Hermitage. 150. Then I remember I created this small international committee. It's an idea that I just got like this. I say like this, my friends, they will help me with the tables, with bringing people, with lots for auction and tombola, because we were doing the tombola at that time. So I had this committee with some friends, and we started like this.
Were you nervous? I mean, it's your first event. Were you thinking, were any of the princely family involved, or was it under the high patronage of anyone?
Actually, this came back to me not long ago. The first year, we did it for the maternity service. And then I remember we asked the patronage to Princess Caroline, and she said yes.
That easily?
Yeah.
You seem to get a lot of yeses.
But you have to knock. Sometimes I got no on some things, but on that, we got a yes. We write a letter with the professor, and he knew her, actually. Professor Tressa knew her. We wrote a letter together, and she said yes. She didn't come to the event, but she said yes. And that's it. And then I found the sponsor. I remember I found a jewelry brand. I don't remember the name. And I found the sponsors. I worked a lot. It was a lot of things. And the first ball was, I think, we raised maybe 15,000 euro. Was not much. But still. And then everybody told me, it's nice. You should do it every year. And then
20 years later?
20 years later. Yeah.
But you've had some developments over the year. It's now under the high patronage of Princess Charlene.
Yes. Actually, what happened is that for the second year of the Bal de Noël, I asked the patronage of Prince Albert. And he said yes. And then we continue to do. We changed after from maternity. We changed for pediatrician, cardiology. We did many different services in the hospital.
Still with the hospital as the focus,
yes, under the patronage of Prince Albert. And then we start to do for other associations where the prince was the president, like Outward Bounds, Mission Enfance, MAP, Monaco a des Présences. And then in 2015, I got a letter, and he asked me if I could put the ball under the patronage of Princess Charlene. And I said, of course, why not? And then I remember I went to some appointments in the office of Princess Charlene.
What did you think, though, when you got that letter? You're like, wow, that's a pretty big acknowledgement for what you've created.
Yeah, I say, okay, that's new. Let's do it, Yeah. I mean, the first half an hour when I got the letter, I say, oh, okay, how are we going to do that? Because I never met her, you know.
Did you feel pressure? Because it was going to be different, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know her. I didn't know the foundation. The foundation was, I think, 4 years old only. And then I went to some appointment at the palace with her team. And then we organized to support her foundation. And the first year, 2016, she attended the ball, I remember. And it's my daughter who gave her the flowers, because they always ask if you can have like a child who give the flowers. And Sofia gave her the flowers. And actually, I remember I had to go to the bathroom. And I told my daughter, Sofia, you stay here, I'm coming back. And when I came back, I don't know how come, because they told me, yeah, the princess will arrive in 10 minutes. I don't know how come, but she arrived when I was in the bathroom. And when I arrived, I see my daughter Sofia giving her the flowers. That was, she remembers, and that was really funny because she really handled the situation.
Yeah.
And and then that's how I met her. I met her for the first time at the ball.
And last year you gave her a special award.
Yes, we gave her an award with the International Action Committee that I created.
All those years ago?
Yeah, those years ago. Who has changed, because now we have also men, it's husband and wife, or some men alone. I mean, we have really important international people. So with the International Committee last year, we decided to create the Monaco Star Awards and to give it to Princess Charlene, because she really deserved it for her action she did in the foundation. She really dedicated a lot of time to children, and she really goes on the beach, in the pool, and not only in Monaco, but in other places. And she really gave her time and love and effort, I think, to a foundation. And actually, that's why the foundation is successful now, more and more.
Is this an award that will now be given out every year, or was it just to honor 20 years?
We started to honor the 20 years, and then we see, no, it's very good, to give an award each year for a person in Monaco who has made a difference, We haven't decided still for this year. We have to meet with the committee and decide, but for sure, we will have the Monaco Star Awards this year. Yeah.
When you look back from when you first started to last year, were there any near disasters? Were there any very special themes or very special moments or guests for you that just stand out?
Okay, in the first year of the Bal de Noël, it was just Bal de Noël Monte-Carlo. And then after, I started to do some thema. We did Monaco, New York, Monaco, London, Monaco, St. Moritz, Monaco, Lugano. And then I remember it was not 2016, maybe it was 2017. Yes, 17. I decided to do Bal de Noël jungle.
Okay.
Okay, I said, let's make something really to break the Christmas thing, So we had some decoration with palm trees on the tables. We had some fake parrots. But I remember when I sent the invitation, and the painter, she did this.
Because they're hand-painted invitations.
By Elisabeth Vessel. She's following us since the beginning of the ball. She's amazing. Every year she's really giving the spirit of the ball. So she did this invitation with a Santa Claus, with a palm tree and the parrots. And then I remember when I got this invitation, I say, this was maybe too much. It was a bit too much.
Too bold.
Yeah. So I was quite scared. But at the end, it went okay. The people, they say, oh, it's nice to do something different. But I think I was scared. I say, maybe I pushed it a little bit too far.
But how do you keep it fresh? And now there's so many other events that could compete with the ball. Do you still have loyal people that are attending, or they're new people, or how does it work for you?
I've every year more and more people, and every year the waiting list is bigger and bigger. Sometimes somebody told me like this. The Bal de Noël is the Picasso. All the other ones, they are copies. Say, stop dressing because this one is copying you or that one is copying you, and they're doing 2 days before the ball or 1 day after. Say, you are the Picasso.
Do you stress about it?
I don't stress, but I just don't think it's nice to put all these events all together. But it's okay. I know my worth, and I know the value of the ball, and there is a special atmosphere. Everybody is telling me that compared to other galas at that time.
Well, if you looked at photos from some of the guests that attend and some of the photos that people share on social media, you would say that it's kind of like Monaco's elite, social elite. The women are very well-dressed, and I think come from a certain social circle, right? As International Women's Day is just around the corner, can we talk about the real women of Monaco? I think that you are in a position to give such a unique perspective of real people that are here. How do you describe a woman in Monaco, the typical woman in Monaco?
Typical woman in Monaco, I say in Monaco, you have always, it's made of different dimensions in Monaco. It depends how is your life, you know. If you work in Monaco, for example, and you have your kids, you bring your kids to school, you go to the gym like very quickly, and then you start your day like 9:30, 10 latest, you know, you start your day. And then you have a full day, and then you pick up your kids, and then you do your shopping, you cook, you go home and everything. It depends on your day. I have a lot of friends, they don't work. They do sports, then they go tennis, then they go to the beauty salon, they do a lot of things, you know, they travel a lot. So I think in Monaco, it really depends on your life, you know, your lifestyle and everything. But I think from like in 30 years that I've been here, even more than 30 years, the image of the woman have changed. Because first in Monaco, you had all the housewife, or you had some, let's say, like kind of call girl, you know, like the gold diggers, let's say.
A kind of call girl? Gold digger, yeah,
gold
okay.
diggers, you know. So actually, when I was traveling somewhere, that was the people were telling, in Monaco, you have housewife or gold digger. That's and I said, no, it's not like this, you know. First, you have students, and you have people working, because Monaco is not living by magic, you know. You have people working in banks, in supermarket, in real estate, in the yacht industry, in the media industry. I mean, it's a real country, you know. It's not La La Land. But people, they have this image that there is only the casino and only the nice cars, the boats, and that's it, and the money. They don't see that there is a dimension behind, and that there is an economy actually behind. And I think the image of the woman in Monaco has completely changed, because I see now some of these women who were not working before when they were younger and dedicated their time to kids. I see now that the kids are going to university, they're opening their companies, and they're doing, let's say, some are opening companies in the well-being, some in finance, to advise in finance, some they are creating their own clothes brand, you know. And I see all these women, you know, they say, okay, the kids are going out of the house. They've been married for a long time or divorced or whatever, but it's like now a click point, you know. Before, like around your 50s, c'était la fin. It was the end, you know. You were old. Nobody looked at you anymore. But this is completely over. And I think Monaco is good for that, you know, because there is these two dimensions, you know, where you see a lot of older men with young girls. This you see it, but you see it in Monaco, you see it everywhere, you know. But you also see some nice couple, they are the same age, and the woman is very active. I've seen even some couples that the man is retired and the woman, she keep on working because she loves her job. And this, I've seen it here in Monaco. So I think the image of the woman has changed a lot. And that a lot of women in their 50s, they're waking up. That's what I saw recently. And that's why in the last years, you know, I created the Women of Monaco lunches like 5 years ago, and the Women of Monaco Club 3 years ago, because I wanted to put all these women together. And actually, it's a friend. She told me, Sandrine, you know, all these ladies, they are from different age, different backgrounds. Some work, some don't work, some do charity, some are interested in art. Put these women together, create like a community in Monaco, make something different, you know. And then she really believed in me a lot, this friend. She's a feng shui master. Her name is Mary Diamond, actually, I can say her. And she works, we work together on feng shui and everything for quite a while. And she's the one who pushed me to do the club and everything. And she even told me, I remember, I will be your first member. I want to have the card with 001. And she paid, she even asked me, when everything is ready, let me know. I'm going to take the membership.
But what is the club?
So the club...
because it seems to me that, we talked about this before the show, I feel like there's a lot of clubs and associations for women in Monaco, and I struggle with this because I just don't see that they even support each other. So what makes your club unique? What are you doing?
First, everything is in English.
Right.
Because I say Monaco lives thanks to the residents also, and most of the residents, they speak English. They don't speak French Or if they do, even between themselves, they speak English. Because there are so many different nationalities that you speak English. You speak French maybe in the supermarket or in the bank, but for the other stuff, you speak English, And first, it's in English. Then I think second, the women, they have to do an interview or they have to be sent by another members. Because what I want in the club is to have safety. In the sense to have really nice women who look in the same direction, I'm trying to have really like open-minded women, international women with good values. And I think that's very important, women with good values. Because if you have one apple, which is not good, then, it can contaminate the club. So, and actually I'm trying to do things that are interesting for everybody. We did cooking class. We went to the Minister of State. There is this cellule de femmes in the Minister of State. We went there, went to visit the Conseil National. We asked questions for 2 hours. We were inside. We could ask questions, and we were in the amphitheater. We did a private visit of the palace. We did so many art talk in Ausha and Works Gallery, now in Opera Gallery. We did conference.
I love Opera Gallery.
Yeah.
Love Opera Gallery.
Yeah. And now the Federica Beretta was before in House and Work. She's in Opera Gallery. We just did a talk recently, which was amazing. And we're going to do 1 or 2 talks per month about art.
How do you have the time for this?
I take the time, and I love it because also myself, I'm learning something. And we go also to Art Monte-Carlo. We do so many things. We went to the Women Museum in Mougins.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's amazing.
Which is owned by Christian Levette. We did a private visit there, then a lunch at the Amandier, which is the restaurant next to it. We went to Florence. We went we visit so many things in Florence.
So it's not just Monaco based.
Now we do some small trips, Actually, now I'm working on another trip. But of course, you need time because I would love to do trips in Rome, trips in Paris, because there are so many things to see and to discover.
Let me just read through this list of clubs and associations here because I find it maybe shocking how many women's associations we have. The Union de Femmes Monégasques, the Zonta Club, the Monaco Women Forum, the Association de Femmes Chefs d'Entreprise de Monaco, Femmes Leader Mondiale Monaco, and Monaco Women in Finance. Do you know any of these other clubs? Do you know some of the people leading them?
Yes.
Do you see crossover? Do you see support?
Femme leader, the president is Chantal Ravera. It's in French. She has maybe a little bit older women, but it's a different category. Most of them are notaries or dentists or lawyers, I think it's completely...
very professional.
Yeah, I think it's completely different that my club is really international. It's like the international club of Monaco, for women, But what we do, Chantal is a friend, Every time she does something, she does soirée du cœur, soirée blanche. Every time she does something, we're trying to get a table or tickets and to come and support,
Can I ask you something without interrupting you? But do you think that women here do enough to support each other?
Me, the women who are surrounding me, they do 100% because they are supporting me. They support all the things that I do. Even some when I ask, okay, let's support that association. And for example, with MAP, Donatella Camponi, she's a member in my club.
Awesome.
She's also a dear friend. Mm-hmm. And 2 years ago, I decided with the Women of Monaco lunch of the month of June, because I do 3 lunches, but the one in June, I told Donatella would like to support the MAP with the lunch because what she's doing in India and Ethiopia is amazing. Mm-hmm. And recently, last year, she created this program which is called Ethiopian Rose. And she's actually helping young women not to get married. She's helping them to really go out of their families and to be in that center where they can learn. They can go to school, they can learn a job and everything. So she's doing this program, which is really amazing. And now in the last 2 years, we have helped with the MAP. In the last lunch in June, she brought the letters of the girls. Thanks to that money, she took 30 girls, I think, that she could put in their village and association,
Wow.
And she read the letters that they wrote to the Women Club. It was fantastic. Really. And then you really see, because Natalia, she makes sure that every cent is really going there. And she's doing an amazing job now for 20 years. And then the most amazing thing happened. It's some women of the club. they organize like their birthday parties, and I saw on the chat they say we don't want any gift. Please send the money to MAP.
Wow.
And like this, she got an extra 25,000 euro from that birthdays.
Well, I mean, one of the things you're doing this year is introducing a new award for your Women's Day lunch for Next Generation.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
something kind of exciting to see here.
Yes, because there's of course, I am one generation, but this generation is getting older and older and older, you know? So it's very important that the new generation, the generation of my kids, the young generation of the women of Monaco, and these women, they will really make an amazing difference, I think, this generation of our kids. And I say we definitely have to put the young women, the young ladies, you know, in that awards. And this year, for the first year, we will have the Young Talents Awards, and we will give it to a very special, I cannot say the name.
I know you can't tell us,
Yes.
right? All right.
She's 18.
Mm-hmm.
She's a student in the UM, but at the same time, she's doing sports on the side, and she's very, very, very good.
I love the fact that you're doing that. I was so curious to know that when you were bringing up your daughter and living in a country like Monaco, how did you instill in Sophia the morals and help her deal with some of the bigger issues that go on here? Because there's a lot of pressure about looks for young people. There's not a lot to do here for people growing up as well. So keeping them interested away from social media. How did you address those issues as a mom?
I think my daughter, she's very disciplined, and she know what she wants. She's very sporty. And I remember I'm not going to say the name of the school, but she was going in one school in Monaco. And at one point she said, Mama, I cannot stay there anymore. I don't like the girls. They only talk about bags, this, makeup, and they dress like they are, she was 12, 13? Yeah. She said they're dressed like adults and everything. I want to change school.
Wow.
She changed school and she went to another school, which was a perfect fit for her. So I think she's completely that new generation who really wants to stand, you know.
And what about the generation that is over 50 of women? I mean, it's can be a tough community. If you are married, you're worried about the younger woman coming along, women that are getting divorced. Is there a stigmatism? Because you had mentioned to me before you were divorced years ago. Was there a stigmatism for you as a divorced mom here?
You know, I was always surrounded by very nice people. I have never very nice friends, couples, you know. I had always my good friends around me. But I think when you go from a life of a married woman, and I was very happy with the father of my kids, it's very difficult to go from, because when you are married, you are two, but you are one entity. It's like you are two, but it's like you are one. And when you get divorced, I mean, especially in my case, some people, they get divorced, they are very happy, you know, for whatever reason.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. Me, I divorced for some reason, but I was not so happy. And actually, not really when I divorced, but maybe a year after, when I divorced, I really understood that I lost that half. And then it's quite difficult to rebuild because you have to rebuild yourself. You have to rebuild that half, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to rebuild yourself, you know, because when you are younger, till you get married, you know, you are building yourself. Okay, you study, and then you have your experience, and then you are starting to work, and then you are starting to see, okay, I want to get married, I want to have children, and that's my values, you know. And then you get married, you have all this, and
do you lose yourself?
Not by comparing it, but to understand. It's for example, you want to run for presidency. You go, you know where you want to go. Okay, let's say you want to get married, you want two kids, you want to fall in love and everything. So that's your
campaign.
Yeah, yeah. And then you are president, you do all what you have to do, you enjoy being president, even if there's a lot of things to do, but that's what it was your goal, you know, to be president. It was your goal to get married, have a family and everything. And then, for example, when the president is not re-elected, which means you are getting divorced, you know, then come another part of the life. And some ex-presidents, they use it wisely and they do it well. And some other, they crash completely, you know.
Which were you? Did you crash completely or did you just kind of...
No, I didn't crash. But I think it was very hard for me. I I could have crashed, but I think it was very hard to rebuild myself. And I think it's very important to work on yourself, to get to know yourself, to be able to make it positive, you know.
I read this article just came out in the New Yorker, and I thought of you. Is the end of marriage the beginning of self-knowledge?
100%. 100%. I agree 100%. Because then you really need to learn yourself, what you like, what you don't like, what mistakes you have done. You learn to love yourself. This is the first thing, and we should have I think we should have a class in like university and even high school that to love yourself is very important.
What does that really mean to love yourself? I mean, we hear that a lot.
Loving yourself, first you have to respect yourself. You know, you have to respect things that sometimes we say yes to people and we want to say no. Respect yourself is to put boundaries. I think it's to put your needs first before the ones of others. Learning to say no is very important. Learning what is good for you, what is bad for you. Learning not to judge yourself too hardly, you know.
And you had your company and you had your balls. So you were working still all the time to be able to provide for your kids and live your life.
Yeah.
Just as we round off the podcast, I'd just like to go back to Monaco. I know you came here in 1995 for school, and you must have some pretty incredible memories of how the country has changed over the last 30 years. Can you share some of those stories or visions of what has changed, good or bad?
Okay, at my time when I arrived, like I told you, it was a lot of big Italian families. So we were here hearing Italian all the time. And I learned Italian and I speak fluently Italian. And actually the father of my kids is Italian. And my passport is Italian also.
Okay.
Yes. And so Monaco was very Italian. And then I saw that period where it changed. A lot of Italians went away. They went back to Italy and in other places. And we had a lot of Russians coming. And now in Monaco, personally, I think we hear more Russian than Italian, you know. And so I saw that change in the resident and the clientele of Monaco. Then before Monaco had few restaurants. I remember it was very few restaurants. Now we have a whole collection of restaurants.
I can't imagine Monaco with only a few restaurants.
It was fantastic, I think, because you had very few restaurants and that's it, you know. So you had less people coming from outside, definitely. Then I think the best part was we had the open-air cinema, not on the rocks, near the prison. It was where there is the Monte-Carlo Bay. It was amazing. We had this beautiful...
On the beach? Close to the beach?
Close to the beach, yeah. We had this beautiful open-air cinema. Actually, it was between Monte-Carlo Bay and the Roccabella, but it was more on the Monte-Carlo Bay side. So you had the open-air cinema, then you had the Paradise. It was an open-air discotheque where like mostly young people were going. It was amazing because it was open by the sea. It was fantastic. And then you had Jimmy's, and Jimmy's were more for the parents and everything. Then, of course, there's the Mare Terra also, which was built on the sea. There is more and more people in Monaco, a lot of people coming in and out.
But even to do, say, shopping, like grocery shopping, has that changed a lot in 30 years?
Yes, because before there was like few supermarkets, the one on the port, Carrefour, one or two small ones, but we didn't have all this Marché U. Yes, for the shopping, even the shop, it was not Monte Carlo one. There was not all this luxury shop. There was, of course, less shopping. That's for sure.
Do you think Monaco still has its glamour that you grew up with and saw on that TV?
Yes. Monaco is glamour. So this we cannot take away from Monaco. This glamour, and also the fact that there is the princely family. It's a very glamour family, I think.
And you've always loved living here. What is it for you? If we take away the family and that unique connection that you've always had with them, what do you love about living here? Like, what's your favorite thing to do, even after all these years?
I love to have a walk, you know, here on the port or the Larvoto, I think, and see the yacht club. And I think it's really nice here. Yeah, to have a walk. Larvoto, I think, and you are safe. You don't need to be worried about your jewelry. If somebody like my daughter, she lives in Paris, it's a big city. When you go to big city, of course, you cannot be like in Monaco, you know. And yeah.
Do you walk out the door like wearing sweats, or do you always make sure that everything's reasonably in place?
No, me, I can go and be very dressed, and I can go and up with like a pins on the head and just my jogging with not makeup. Honestly, I don't care. I just adapt to the situation, or I want myself to be dressed. No, for this, I don't have any problem. Yeah.
What I think is amazing is that you've really created something for yourself here with your business and with the ball and with the women's lunch and the awards and the club. And sometimes I think if you were a man and because you're very driven, but if you were a man, people would say that's amazing. But sometimes when a woman's doing all this, there's more criticism because you're a woman doing it. But you're so in the know of what you want. And it seems to me that you've just surrounded yourself with kind people, but not people who aren't willing to tell you the truth.
No, I think people around me sometimes, and especially I have one friend, she's a very good friend, and she's always telling me the truth. She tells me, you should not do like this, should not like this, and this is that. So sometimes it's a bit hard to hear it, And sometimes, for example, after the Bal de Noël or after lunch, some people come to me and they say it's fantastic, but you can improve this. Yes.
Yeah.
And I say yes. When I was younger, I was take it not super nicely, but now I say, okay, thank you for the advice. I will try to improve.
So over the last 30 years then, let's just round it off with this. How has Monaco changed in terms of its macho mentality? Are women finding their place better here? Are we having more opportunities?
I think there's still a lot to do, but I think it's less macho than before. You can see in Monaco, there is a lot of women in important position.
Because I imagine, sorry, I was just saying, I imagine when you first came here, it wasn't like it is now.
No, it was not. No, and actually, when I got married in the mayor house, I remember they give the livret de famille, this red booklet,
Right.
and they say the woman will have to follow the husband. He will make the decision.
Okay.
And he gives you the livret de famille. And I remember I laughed. I said, what is that? They changed that. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
But that's in early 2000. It was like this.
And you see women taking more important roles here and
Yes.
having more opportunities?
Yes. I could give you a list of this amazing women in all different categories, all different sectors that I meet. I told you for the Women of Monaco Lunch and Women of Monaco Club, I have the Barclay Private Bank. They are partnered now for 3 years, and they have an amazing team of women.
Mm-hmm.
And they are really very good, like the head of investment is a woman, and they're all married, all kids, they all have kids, they have family, and they have really such big position. They are so good in what they are doing, So, yeah, I meet, honestly, a lot of... and I meet more interesting women now than 20 years ago. That's 100% for sure.
Well, I appreciate you coming on to Monaco Info, the podcast, Sandrine. And I hope that people listening, especially because it is Women's International Day, that people can get a better look or more realistic view of the fact that there are some pretty outstanding women here. And it's not just all bashing, because I think people like to look on social media at what people are doing and be negative. And I'm really hoping that these types of episodes, these types of podcasts can create a much more Monaco positive energy towards women, and that we in Monaco as women can be a little bit better to support each other and kinder. So I really appreciate your time and your insight. It's very unique what you've brought to us today.
Thank you very much. And it's fantastic to have also a woman like you doing this podcast because you learn a lot, I've heard some of them, and it's nice because some people, them from outside,
Mm-hmm.
and with the podcast, wow, you change the way of thinking about one person. And
one episode at a time.
Exactly.
Thanks, Sandrine.
Thank you.